Good morning, everyone. Welcome back in economics classes. Today we are going to discuss the important topic from chapter number 4. Methods of measuring elasticity of demand. This chapter contains at least one numerical and 3-mark question when short answer means at least 5 marks from this chapter may come in board examination. So I want to tell you one thing more that if you have not completed the question answer of previous chapter, that complete it now. And if any doubt, any problem you are having in completing question answers, then you can take the reference from the particular section which is mentioned in the book, or you can consult to me. I'll clear your query. So let's move towards the topic. While we are measuring the elasticity of demand, we are having two kind of elasticity: point elasticity as well as arc elasticity. So what is point elasticity? While we are discussing the elasticity of a commodity on particular point, that is known as point elasticity. And while we are discussing about elasticity between 2 points, that is known as arc elasticity. So let us understand what is point elasticity and what is arc elasticity. So this one we have taken the graph. In this graph, if we are taking that elasticity between these 2 points, then that will be arc elasticity. And if we are discussing about point R, so this will be point elasticity. So let me explain about point elasticity. Point elasticity we can calculate by two methods. One, when simple line is given, on that we can discuss the point elasticity. So suppose in this point we are having different point A, B, C, and here may be one point D, and here may be one point E. So let us see that how we can calculate that elasticity on straight line. So suppose we have to calculate elasticity, so formula will be simple. EP will be lower section upon upper section. So let us go through. Suppose we have to take that elasticity on point B. So on point we have to take elasticity. So EP will be lower section means BC upon BA. And here they both are equal. So it means EP will be 1. And if we are discussing about this point A, so here will be lower section AC upon A, so that is 0, it will be infinite. So like that we can have calculation of elasticity on different points. And second one is arc method. While arc is given and we have to find that elasticity, then what we'll do, we'll draw a straight line and on which point we have to calculate. Suppose this point is there on the arc, point P. So again we'll use the same method. Suppose it is A and it is B. So lower section PA upon upper section PB. So EP will be PA upon PB. So the same method is there on that particular arc. So this was that point method when we have to calculate the elasticity on point. Either it is given on a straight line or it is given on in a curve. So we cannot calculate that distance in the curve properly. So we are making first a straight line where the point is located, and then we are taking the same formula, means lower section upon upper section. So this was the method which we can use for point elasticity of demand. means on particular point we can calculate by these two methods. These both are geometric method, arc method, as well as straight line method. So linear demand curve and non-linear demand curve. If demand curve is linear in a straight line, so we can go directly lower section upon upper section, and if it is a curve, then we will take the point first, we will make the line, and on that particular point we can use the same formula, lower section upon upper section. So we can find out elasticity of demand. So now we are moving. Next one is arc method or arc elasticity. So we can calculate simply elasticity between these 2 points. We can take the example. We have taken point R and point R1. So calculating the elasticity between these 2 points, we are using the method that is known as arc elasticity method, or this elasticity is known as arc elasticity. So we can calculate this elasticity by two methods, percentage change method and total expenditure method. So how we will calculate, we will discuss in the next slide. First we are going through percentage change method. So percentage change method, to understand it, you have to go through that same concept. What is the price elasticity of demand? Change in quantity demanded upon change in price. So if we are adding the word percentage in that one, that it becomes percentage change method. So how we are calculating the percentage? It is very simple formula. Change in quantity upon initial quantity into 100. So suppose we are having that previous price P is equal to 5 and new price P1 is equal to 10. So delta P will be difference between P1 and P, so that will be 5. And percentage change we have to calculate, then it will be delta P upon P into 100. So in the same way, delta Q, suppose Q is 10, Q1 is 15. So there will be delta Q, 15 minus 10 will be 5. So one thing we can understand, that price elasticity of demand is always negative. Why it is negative? Because that relationship between the price and quantity demanded is inverse according to law of demand. So keep in mind that tendency of that elasticity of demand or price elasticity of demand is always negative. Why it is negative? Because that law of demand applicable here, means if price will increase, then quantity demanded will decrease according to law of demand. So I hope you understood how we are calculating. So second one, we are going to understand that what is the formula for this one, already given in the book, that is delta Q upon delta P multiplied P upon Q into 100. So by this formula, what is delta Q you understood here, what is delta P I hope you understood. P is the initial price and Q is also the initial quantity demanded. So by this applying this formula, we can calculate the numerical example from this chapter. So this method is important one, and most of the numericals are based on this method only in the board examination. So let us go with the numerical example. So here I have taken the example number 1 from a book. Here price of a commodity rises from rupees 5 to 6. So here what is that price? Previous price we have taken P, that is 5, and new price is 6. So delta P will be 6 minus 5 is equal to 1. And we have taken that Q is 100 given already, means, and after changing it is 100. So we have to understand that price increases, quantity demanded decreases. So that's why EP is always negative in nature in case of price elasticity of demand. So now we are going to discuss about delta Q is 100 minus 80 20, and formula applicable delta Q upon delta P multiplied P upon Q. So 20 upon 1 into 5 upon 100, so it becomes 1. 20 into 500 upon 100, it becomes 1. So like that you can solve the example. If you are having any problem, then you can take the help from the examples, and if particular question you are not able to solve, then you tell me, I will give the solution to you. So this was the method, percentage change method. I hope you understood. Now we are moving the second method of this arc elasticity, that is total expenditure. In this method, we are calculating the elasticity by that expenditure remain false, remain constant, or increases or rises. And there are two changes in that commodity, means maybe fall in price, maybe rise in price. So in case fall in price, if total expenditure remain constant, so EP or price elasticity of demand is unitary, and if total expenditure falls in case of fall in price, then EP is more than EP is less than 1, and if that total expenditure rises in case of fall in price, then EP will be more than 1. So this is happening in the case of fall in price, and in case of rise in price, it remains same. In case of constant total expenditure, EP will be 1, and if TE rises, then EP will be less than 1, and total expenditure falls, then it will be more than 1. So we are having just opposite of fall in price and rise in price. So let us understand which kind of elasticity we can measure by the total expenditure method. So one thing I want to tell, that we cannot measure the accurate elasticity by this method. We can calculate only that it is more than 1, it is less than 1, or unitary, means elastic or inelastic or unitary. We can understand only this one, either that demand is unitary elastic, or more elastic, or less elastic, means more than 1, less than 1, or equal to 1. Only these three calculations we can do. Accurate elasticity we cannot calculate, as we are calculating in percentage change method. So let us understand first one, that is elastic demand. So if we are discussing about elastic demand, so when falls in price of the commodity results in increase in the total expenditure, and rise in the price leads to decrease the total expenditure, the elasticity demand will be greater than 1. So elastic demand we are discussing greater than 1. So let us understand with this example. We have taken in this example that price, initial price rupees 60, and new price is 50, and initial quantity demanded is 10 according to that graph, and another one change in quantity, after change it is 13. So if we are discussing about this method, so we have to see total expenditure. So 60 into 10, that will be 600, and 13 into 50 will be 650. So we are watching here that total expenditure increase from 600 to 650. So it means EP will be more than 1. It means EP will be elastic. So what does it mean? It means that if there is a rise in the expenditure by the fall in the price of the commodity, then EP is more than 1. So this is known as elastic demand, and we can calculate by the total expenditure method either the demand is elastic or inelastic or unitary. So if demand is elastic, we can find out how we can find out if price of the commodity is falling and total expenditure is increasing. In that case, price elasticity of demand is elastic. So I hope you understood this one. Now we are going through next one. So we were discussing about inelastic demand. So if fall in price of the commodity reduce the total expenditure of a commodity, then demand is considered is inelastic demand. So for example, we can understand in this graph we have shown that initial price is rupees 60. Initial price is rupees 60 and new price is 50. Initial quantity is 10 and new quantity is 11. So if we are watching total expenditure 60 into 10 600 and 15 to 11 550. So what is here means total expenditure decreases due to fall in price. So in that case EP will be less than 1. So inelastic means less than 1, elastic means more than 1. That concept must be clear to you. So once again I am making it clear that if the price falls of a commodity and due to that fall in price expenditure also falls, in that case EP is less than 1 or EP is inelastic, and it was just opposite of elastic case. So let us discuss the next case, that is unitary elastic. So unitary elastic very easy to understand. When total expenditure does not change with a change in the price of the commodity, then it is known as unitary elastic. It means that price is being changed but the total expenditure is not being changed. So EP will be 1. So let us see with the help of this example. So we are having here that another same graph with P is here 60 and P1 is here 50 and initial one is here 10 and final one is here 12. So if you are watching 6 into 10 is equal to 600 and here 15 to 12 is equal to 600. So TE remains same in both cases, 600 600. So EP will be unitary. So it is very easy. It means that after change in the price there is no change in the total expenditure. In that case we are having EP is unitary. So let us conclude this topic. If there is fall in price and total expenditure remains same or constant, so EP is 1, and if there is fall in total expenditure due to fall in price, so EP will be less than 1, and if there is rise in total expenditure due to fall in price, then EP is more than 1. It means EP is elastic in case of rise in total expenditure due to fall in price, and EP will be inelastic in case of fall in total expenditure due to fall in price. So if we are discussing about opposite one, that rise in price, then total expenditure remains same, so it will be constant, and if total expenditure rises, so it will be inelastic, and if total expenditure falls, then it will be elastic. So you can understand this example well. It is already given in your book. If you are having any doubt, then you can ask me in comment section. I can make it clear again. So let us conclude this topic. Next we are going to discuss another topic. We will discuss tomorrow, that factors affecting the price elasticity of demand. So till then, have a nice day, stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much.